Hey guys, welcome back. As promised, I'm going to do a few videos on some of the new Apex equipment that I have hooked up. And a few of you have already asked some questions about the PMUP. So I figured we may as well just start with this one. So this is the box for it here. And PMUP, if you haven't already figured it out, is pump spelled backwards. This is the practical multi-purpose utility pump. Says it is perfect for ATO, which is your auto top off. It's also good for GFO, carbon, biopellet, other reactors. It has a 100 gallon per hour flow rate, and it's got a vertical design perfect for water jugs. I did think that the shape of this pump was a little bit odd when I first saw it, but if it is designed for ATO going into water jugs, that makes sense. It'll get into the jug a lot easier. So this pump I got from Bulk Reef Supply. So when I purchased the rest of my Apex system, so I got the Apex unit, and I got 2 of the wave pumps. They give you those reward points. And so with all the reward points, I had enough to go back and get this pump for free, basically. So I cashed in those points. So the box came, not much in it. It's just the pump itself. And there it is. So I am using this to power my UV sterilizer, which is right here. So I've got it hooked up through some adapters. It has a, I think it was a 3/8 inch output on the pump itself, and I needed to get that into this 3/4 inch plumbing that I had on the UV sterilizer itself. So I had to go to Home Depot, get a couple of adapters. So I just have the 3/8 inch hose going to a couple of barb fittings and eventually makes its way into the plumbing. This UV sterilizer, in order to function optimally, they said to run it between 86 and I think 120 gallons per hour. So with this pump doing 100 gallons per hour, it was perfect for this application. And this is replacing, I just had this cheap no-name brand pump, I think. All living things. Nothing special. This was 106 gallons per hour. Just standard AC plug on it. So I figured I'll pull this out and hook up this new PMUP in its place. The thing about the PMUP is that it connects to the Apex via the 24-volt DC utility port. So on all of these energy bars, there are some special ports on the bottom, which are hard to see. But in this back here, it's plugging in. So there are 2 24-volt ports. They use some kind of a special connector. So this pump that I have right here really can only be used with this energy bar right there, or any other Apex device that has the 24-volt power output. I think they do also sell a model that can just be used separately, on its own, but I don't see the whole point of this, I think, was to use that utility port on the Apex so that you're not using, one of your main outlets, to power a small pump like this. So, yeah, that's about it for the pump itself. I mean, it's pretty much plug and play. You plug it into the outlet, you plug it into your plumbing, and then basically on the Apex, I have the UV pump set up here. It just shows up as a standard outlet along with all of the rest of them. And I have this programmed basically for always on. So this thing is always running, unless, of course, I want to come in here and shut it off manually, which I can do right there. So it's off. And there is some status lights here, A and B. So if I turn it back on, you can see A comes back on. So just by looking at the energy bar, you know when the pump is getting power, which is kind of cool. Let's think what else. Yeah, so that's it for setup and operation. I mean, it's a very, very basic device. I mean, I don't have it set to do anything special other than just run. and I have the ability to turn it on and off. So as far as performance, fine. So it's, it's pumping water. And if I can pull this off, you can see that's all the water coming out, from that pump. So it's got a pretty decent flow rate, 100 gallons per hour going through there. No problem there. It's plenty enough to do what I need it to do. The only other issue people have asked or have made comments, or I've seen before, people say that it is noisy, or asked if it is noisy. And we could go ahead and take a look at that now. Shut everything else off and see if we can hear it. I would say it's not loud. And I wouldn't call it noisy. If you're listening for it, you may be able to hear it. If everything else is off, you certainly can hear it if you're listening for it. But in a fully functioning system where you've already got skimmers, you've got a return pump going, you've got basically everything else flowing through here, it's nothing that you're ever going to notice unless your ear is up against the glass, waiting to hear it. So let me just reposition the camera and start turning some stuff off, and let's see if we can hear this. So before I do that, I forgot to mention how I have this mounted. So if you can see in there, I've got it hooked into that clear tubing right there, and the pump is connected there, but the pump is not making contact with the aquarium itself at all. And I did that not because of the noise initially or anything like that. I hooked it up this way because of the odd shape of the pump, and there is no like rubber feet or any like isolation on it. I just figured it was going to make a heck of a lot of noise, rattling against the glass. So I just have it suspended in the water column. So that may make a difference in how it's set up. I do think if that thing were sitting on the glass, it would be a heck of a lot noisier than the way I have it set up now, which is just kind of suspended in the water column. So forgot to mention that. And then let's turn off the rest of the pumps and see what it sounds like. Okay, so I've downloaded an app from the App Store on this iPhone, and it's reading the decibels. So I've got my house about as quiet as I'm going to be able to make it right now. And I'm going to go ahead and stick the iPhone microphone that I'm using right now next to that phone right there. I'm going to shut off all of the pumps, and let's see how it sounds. So first I'm just going to lay the microphone next to it, let it run. We'll see what it sounds like under normal circumstances, and then I'll shut everything down and see what the numbers say. Alright, so that is the microphone right there, and I'm going to be quiet, and let's see what the number is. So under normal operation, it looks like about between 61 and 63 decibels. So I'm going to go ahead and start shutting some stuff off now. And okay, this is with everything turned off. It looks like we're hitting around 50 decibels. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the PMUP, and let's see what it does. This is on. Off. This is on. Off. On. Off. All right, hopefully you were able to hear that, the pump turning on and off. If not, maybe go back and re-listen with some headphones, and you will be able to hear it, but it is by no means loud. So all in all, I'd say this is a good pump. It does exactly what I need it to do. It takes up very little space. I like the fact that it uses that 24 volt DC utility port, and yeah, I'm gonna give this one thumbs up. Seems to be a pretty good product, and I don't think that it's any noisier than it should be. I mean, maybe it could be a little bit quieter, but in my application, it doesn't seem to make any difference for me. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.